Hey, what's up, fellas? Boss here in the boxing round. So, the next Saturday, the 9th, we have some really good matchups also. First one is the main one, really is a heavyweight showdown between Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois. Before we get there, I just want to mention a few others. There are one in the United States in Atlanta, Angelo Leo fighting Reese Aleem. It's a featherweight IBF featherweight championship fight. Yeah. Well, Angelo Leo, he's kind of done well lately, and he's the IBF champion now, I believe. Yeah. So, hang on just a second. Angelo Leo, yeah. So he beat Luis Alberto Lopez by knockout in 10 rounds to win the title. And then he beat Tomoki Kameda in his first defense, yeah. Now it's his second versus Aleem, who is 23-1. And his only loss was a split decision to Sam Goodman away in Australia, 23. So yeah, Reese Aleem is not a puncher really. He got 12 knockouts in 23 wins, but it's not really a heavy hitter like Angelo Leo. Angelo Leo doesn't have, that many knockouts either, but he's just he has knocked out, Luis Alberto Lopez in a world title fight, and yeah, has stopped a few other, decent opponents like Mike Plania, Nicolas Polanco, and Cesar Juarez, yeah, and just is a more kind of aggressive, kind of typical Mexican style fighter, even though he's Mexican American, but anyway, you know what I mean. He famously lost to his WBO super bantamweight title to Stephen Fulton. That was kind of the grand introduction or entrance of Stephen Fulton. He just got out slicked out of box there. So it means that maybe Reese Ali might have a chance, even though I don't think he was as good as slick as Fulton, but Fulton is definitely, you might say, somewhat of a damaged goods now, while Aleem also 35, not exactly in his prime years, Leo is still 31, still in his prime, arguably. Both fighters are 5'6", have a almost identical reach, same stance, orthodox. Yeah, no, I just think it will be an interesting fight. Definitely. However, Leo seems to be really, in his stride, and that loss to Fulton, he obviously made him kind of work even harder and kind of reinvent himself at a new weight, heavyweight. And yeah, so that's I believe he will win this fight most likely, but who knows? It's possible, but it could probably go distance, but who knows? Maybe he can even pull off a knockout stuff, which will be alright. Also, what's his name? David Morrell. Yeah, he's back. He's also fighting at a catchweight fight of 187 pounds against the guy called Zach Shelley. I guess Shelley is, he lives in UK or what. I mean, 5 is in Manchester, so. But that last name sounds Italian or something. Yeah, he's from UK. He's from London. Yeah, it's actually interesting. He's got, yeah, he's a light heavyweight also, but despite his fight, he's really fought above that. Okay. I mean, yeah, Charlie has lost to Calvin Simpson recently and Mark Jeffries. He was a super middleweight until recent. I mean, until last year. I mean. Yeah, well, Morel, I guess he's having problems, getting down to 175 himself. Maybe he's chasing a rematch with Dave Benavidez. Now he's a cruiserweight world champion, of course. Yeah, and but anyway, Morel definitely wins this one, unless he should come out in terrible shape before Manuel wins. So probably by a knockout. Yeah, who knows? Alright, then finally we go to the big fight. Of course, British heavyweight showdown, all British, for the WBO championship. So yeah, we have Fabian Wardley. I actually didn't realize he's only 31. Hasn't been around for too long. He's got 21 fights, no losses, one draw. Of course, the Fraser Clark, which he later avenged. Dubois, 3 losses, 22 wins, 21 by knockout. Also, Wardley, only 1 win by decision. These guys are killers, they have killer punching power. Even though I think Dubois, he can punch, but he's usually more like a combination puncher. While Wardley has that crazy one punch KO power, that people, well, many boxers dream of, but they don't have it. That's been kind of, you know, mythologized. I guess that's the right term. Yeah, and which has helped him get out of trouble more than once so far, I mean, Wardley has been in trouble more than once in fights, but he just abruptly ended the whole thing, like against Cooney, or he was losing against what's his name, the big guy from USA, Eric Molina. Yeah, I remember that fight. He was taking a pretty heavy beating in the 5th round, and then just bang, pull out the right, yeah, 2-punch combination. Away. So yeah, just against Joseph Parker, he was also kind of not doing great. I mean, but then he just came back in the late rounds and ended the fight in the 11th round. And that's his greatest achievement so far, of course, by far. He never came close to beating someone like Parker before. So if he can build on that and now also beat, if not knockout, then at least beat Dubois, that would really set him on the path to greatness, in major fights. If he loses, of course, we know what happens. Back to the drawing board, probably, or fighting British level opponents. Dubois is now, many see him as David Coots after the loss to Usyk. He has two knockout losses to him and one to Joe Joyce. Yeah, he was doing well, of course, on a 3 knockout win run. Even though the Hergovich thing, that was not a real knockout, but anyway. Yeah. I think he got too cocky against Usyk. He thought, okay, now I'm, Now I'm better than I was. First time I'm just gonna knock him out and it didn't work like that. Pay the price. I think against Wardley, thing is they are of equal height, but when it comes to brawn, Dubois is far, far ahead there. He's a lot heavier, muscled guy. And Fabio is kind of soft body, but it hasn't stopped him from. Still, he has the speed. That's the big advantage. He's got with Dubois, the speed. Dubois, is not a very fast fighter. He's like like a big bear, of a man. Big chunk. Yeah, muscles like a tank. Muscles. But his problem is he never had the best defense, But so it's also same thing with Ward. He never cared much about defense, it seems. And he's got a really good chin though. He has proven that so far. While Dubois, not as good, I would say. Not bad, but not good. Either. So the thing is, that can be also a decisive factor. I just think that Dubois fought a perfect fight against Anthony Joshua. But Joshua was already shot for, And same thing, Jarrell Miller also. I mean, good performances, but against shot for opponents. And Miller was never that good. And Hrgovic, the thing is, Hrgovic just gassed himself out. He punched himself out too early, and then he got cut. So yeah, I think Wardley just is a fresher fighter. He hasn't lost yet. He hasn't been in such grueling fights against world class opponents. Even though Dubois hasn't faced that many world class opponents, but he has faced more. He fought Usyk twice. Just that is enough, put you on a downward trajectory. So we don't know where he is right now. Dubois. He might well bounce back strong and knock out Wardley, but he also may be knocked out himself. That's the big thing. I still think right now it looks like Wardley is more likely to knock him out. He just will have to kind of be, do it as well. Maybe not as quickly as possible, but like he's gotta find the right way to face himself and not take too many punches from the wall. I cannot afford that, definitely. He cannot. He will either look to get him out from there as quickly as possible, or kind of wait for him to, like with Parker, to get tired and then strike. But Parker is that different kind of beast. Dubois Parker is more like a boxer who doesn't hit that hard. Dubois can really hit hard. I mean, even though I said he's like maybe doesn't have one punch knockout power. I don't know, but he can maybe have. I don't know, but not usually. He usually lands several punches before knocking out someone. And yeah, as I said, Wardley is a faster guy and less heavier build, and that can work in his advantage. And should unless he should get caught by something big and then pummeled on the ropes and stuff like that. I believe he can win this war. But it remains to be seen. It's kind of like I would call it like a 55-45 fight or 60-40 in Wardley's favor. It's still a dangerous fight for Wardley, definitely not. Dubois He knows he must win this or it's pretty much over. He loses now, or especially if he gets knocked out again, that might be it. But and it will end his prime, definitely. Maybe it has already ended, who knows? But he's 28 years old, but it's not a young 28 years old. So yeah, anyway, Wardley. Yeah, he's a good chin, as I said. He can get cut and stuff, but yeah, it's like when he fought a guy that is kind of built like Dubois or even heavier, like Fraser Clark, first time he struggled. That's true. So we'll see. I mean, even though Dubois is definitely a better fighter than Fraser Clark. So yeah, I really don't know, but I think Wardley will probably win this as well. He's now on a roll, and he feels very confident. Dubois not as much. But he's got that arrogance. Yeah, I bet he thinks, oh yeah, I'm gonna knock him out. It's not gonna be so hard. That can be dangerous. Things like that. So yeah, as I said, 55 to 45 or 60 to 40 in favor of Wardley. But yeah, very likely won't go the distance, and probably won't go longer than like 8 rounds tops. I think 6 to 8 rounds, something like that. And yeah, anyway, that's it for now. Right? Thank you all. Enjoy the fights. Bye.